Hello. Thanks for joining us. Welcome to Success Tips. I know you came here to get some tips for the week, just to get you through the week. This is why we have Success Tips, because sometimes we need just a little bit extra to uplift us, get our minds right, get our attitudes right for the week. And so every other week, we have these success tips for you, and each week is a different trainer. And so thanks for joining today, and I'm so excited for what we're going to talk about today. And it's not always the really thing that we want to talk about, especially what is going on today in our world today. We see so many things. If you watch the news for any amount of time, you realize that it is all bad news. And I want you to think about that. Why is it constantly bad news? Why do they constantly put bad news on there? Why are we bombarded with these messages of negativity? Why do you hear, usually from politicians, about oh my gosh, the world is ending? Or especially about the economy. Continually, one side or the other is trying to say that the economy is good. The other side is trying to say that the economy is bad. Whoever is in power at the time is the one that is trying to say that the economy is good if they're in power and what they've done for the last 4 years. And the other side that wants to be in power is telling doom and gloom that the economy is terrible. Okay, the economy is going down. It's a mess, and especially trying to telling you predictions of how much worse it's going to get. And then you hear, especially with the stock market or interest rates, right? And who controls all of that? Who controls what is happening in the stock market? What is happening with the interest rates? That is what, and the gas prices. Those are the three things that they try to pull you in with all the doom and gloom and the bad news. And who is it that is controlling that information that you're getting? And then what happens when we hear all this bad news over a long period of time, and what happens to our minds and our ability to even think, is that we become actually programmed about what they put in and what they tell us. And so I'm going to stand here actually right now, and I'm going to unlock some secrets. Actually, 3 secrets that will help you to be prepared, okay? Whatever happens, and completely at peace for any emergency. And what does that do to us automatically? If we know that we're prepared for something, if we know that we have been prepared and preparing for what might come, then we can have peace. But if we have no preparation, and we hear that bad news, and we continually hear that bad news, what is the first thing that we start to do? What do you do? Do you start to panic when you don't have a plan? When you don't have anything that you've prepared? Or do you stay peaceful no matter what they're saying, no matter what's going on around you? So the first thing is, do not panic. Okay? Do not panic. And know that is what that's what they're seeking to do, to get you to panic. Why? Why do they want you to panic? Because what happens when you panic, you need somebody to come in and save you when you panic. And you're going to listen to them, and you're going to listen to what their solution is, even though they're the ones that created the panic in the first place. And then you want the people who created the panic to come in and solve the problem? No, you do not panic. Because what happens when we panic is that it's not thinking through things rationally. We begin to think irrationally. We begin to think how the doom and gloom, and we begin to not have hope. And what happens is we kind of have reactions instead of responses. We start, again, just taking out our thinking and just listening to who we think that started the panic has a solution. But they don't have the solution. We have the solution within inside of us. We actually have, if we stop and we really think, instead of panic, we actually have the solution. We actually know instinctively what things to do, but when we've been programmed, we're listening to the programming, we're listening to what they've told us, we've listened to what we've watched on social media and movies and everything in schools, everything, to that they have the answers when the answers are actually within us. We have been given the power to actually self-govern. That we don't, and that's actually even how our country started, is that when we self-govern ourselves, when we can think clearly and rationally and not panic and not start to react in fear, and it's fear-based, not rationally, and we can begin to see the answers to the solution. And I saw this very clearly. With my son in Washington, D.C. We actually went to the Bible Museum, which is this amazing museum. And at that time, it was very new. It had just opened, like within that year. And they were actually still creating the exhibits and the things for it. And it's like this 4-story, huge building that has so much that walks through all of the history of the Bible. But what happened was when we got there, there's this security system that we had to walk through. And I'm telling you, this is like new sci-fi kind of security. Like it was like a sci-fi movie of the things. It's nothing I'd ever seen before. These little compartments light up, and it looks like a beehive kind of thing. And there's different lights that light up with green and red and all these different colors. And if it's green, you put like all your bags and stuff that goes through the security through this lighted thing. And then you go through like a security system as well. And so I'm getting ready to put my stuff into this sci-fi thing. And there's dog sniffing security here. This is like Israeli. They actually had the Israeli security system that they use in Israel. They had them to develop this system for them because evidently there was lots of threats for this place. So they developed a system. And just imagine, we're going through sci-fi security, dog sniffing security at this museum. And I'm about to put my stuff in. And I turn around, and my son, at the time, has all of his stuff laid out on the floor. Like he had a backpack, and he has it all laid out in the middle of this security line. And I turn around, and it's not just like he has it all laid out. He's taken everything out of his bag, or almost everything out of his bag. And he's sitting there like panicked. I'm just telling you, like, panicked. And I am like, what is going on? And he's like, I can't find my cell phone. I'm like, okay, well, this isn't what we want to do. Let's take this stuff, gather it, and move over here out of the line, and we'll figure this out. Well, he's just like emotional and panicked. And I'm just trying to get him calmed down. And he's not calming down, and we're trying to think through like where it could be. He can't think through. We're going through the park. We were here. We were there. And where did you have it last? Where do you remember it? He can't remember. And so I'm like, okay, we're going to call Daddy. We're going to call his father. We're going to see if he can track it. So we're tracking it. Or he's trying to track it. He can't get in to track it. We're trying to figure out. We're just thinking, trying to think. What can we do? And I finally, I'm just like, calm down, and you have to think. You cannot think if you're panicked like this. So calm down and let's think. And finally I got him breathing and thinking out of his panic mode. And it was like this. It just, call the phone. We had an Uber. And he's like, I left it in the Uber car. Call the phone. So we called the phone on my phone. I found the phone number, and we called it, and there it was. And he picked up the phone, and he drove right back to the museum. We got the phone, and we went into the museum and enjoyed less time, but still time in the museum. And that just really spoke to me of what I'm trying to tell you today. We cannot think clearly when we're panicked. We have to think rationally and not allow other people to get us in a fear, fight, or flight mode of fear and panic. And so just know that way to stop panic is to think clearly and rationally. And that comes to the second secret. And that is that you have a plan. They have a plan. You have a strategy. You prepare for these times. You know ahead of time. You don't. And yeah, you have to know that the economy has ebbs and flows. But guess what? Guess what happens in down times? Opportunity. Opportunity. Think of COVID. We have clients at Destiny Global who actually started, multiple of our clients who started their business. They were working for someone else, and they started their business in the middle of COVID. And they went from nothing, zero, to now hundreds of thousands of dollars in their company. And they're having to hire new people to expand their company even more and scale their business. And they are already doubling in the first of this year what they did last year in that same month. Because they continue to apply these principles and know that they have strategies and not question the strategies. 30-year success, right? It's not on trial. It's not on trial. These strategies are not on trial. It has happened time and time again. So you just know that there are success stories that have used these same strategies and been successful. And so you learn and you gain skills of how to actually thrive in a business during down times. It's actually an opportunity, because think of everything that was going on during COVID. Was customer service getting worse? And were people left and right going out of business? Think about that. That people left and right, your competitors while they're going out of business, these people were thriving and growing and scaling their businesses at the worst economic time and the most panic. Like, their businesses were shutting down. It's the biggest opportunity, if you don't panic, to thrive, to actually stand out, to actually be light in darkness. And that's what our clients have done through following strategies, having a plan, and implementing that plan, and not getting distracted, and not panicking, and not letting fear set in. You also see this during the Depression. Go look at some of the stories. What you normally see is all the terrible stories that happened during the Depression and how everybody was in poverty. That's not actually true. There were people that were thriving that did not put everything into their stock market. The people who put and listened to those who were in control of the stock market, they put everything in, their retirements, everything into the stock market at that time. And those who did lost everything and had to start over and didn't have the skills to learn how to build a new business and how to invest in other things and actually have multiple streams of revenue at the same time. That isn't putting all of your eggs in one basket, but diversifying to be able to do that. And actually, you're like, April, how is that even possible? It is possible, but that comes to the third secret, which is your mindset. It all starts there, because even you thinking, how is that possible? That is a poverty mindset. We have two things. We have a poverty mindset that says, I can't do that. Something that has been put into us and programmed in us to believe that we can't do something, or that something is holding us back. Our age, our gender, something is holding us back that says we can't do something. Or that this is where my family was, this is how I was raised, this is how I'm going to be. I don't have the same opportunities. That's a poverty mindset. The other side of that is a lottery mindset. It's I'm going to buy a ticket to the lottery and I'm going to win, and I have a system to buy a ticket to the lottery that's going to help me win. Anyone ever heard that? Instead of putting a system that is tried and proven 100%, they're going to put it into something that it has luck to it. I'm going to have a system that I put in the right numbers somewhere down the line, and anybody who has ever done that, it doesn't even matter if they did win it, because at the end of it, they will have more problems, they will have lost everything, and have more debt. Because they did not learn through a slow, methodical system how to actually earn and keep it. So those are your two mindsets that you have to overcome. So that in that you don't panic. In that you don't worry. You don't react out of fear. That you have clear-mindedness. You know and work through all of those mindsets that keep you held back. Instead, you know that there are strategies and that there is opportunity here. That if you implement skills and learn skills during this time and invest in skills, that you will actually be able to thrive. Where other people are going out of business, you will actually be scaling your business, doubling in revenue and profit. And everybody will be looking at you. How are you doing this during COVID? But you have to learn skills. And how do you change this mindset? How do you change that mindset? How do you take that mindset from that poverty and lottery mentality to actually in what you're being programmed in with all the bad news and doom and gloom, instead of strategies and processes to follow that are successful and have a 30-year track record? It is through continual, every day, not watching the news. Whatever you would take before, that you would use your time to watch a movie, Netflix, or you would watch the news, you watch that nightly news or morning news, the morning news show. Instead of watching that, you actually plug in every single day to reprogram your mindset with these strategies. And then you take action on it. You listen to it, and it's not just like osmosis that you listen to it. Yes, it is changing your mindset through listening to it, but it's like, okay, we're giving you strategies. Go take action. Overcome your mindset. And then take action. Set your goals. Take action. And so it's listening and applying, listening and applying, listening and applying. What are your takeaways? Staying focused on the things you have done to achieve your goals, not looking at where you still have to go, but how far you have come. And that has training as well for how to do that, how to keep your wins in front of you. All in a thing that we have for you with our trainers that you see here on Success Tips every week. We have a training where you can listen to bite-sized pieces to reprogram so that you're not reacting in an emergency. You have a strategy. You have a plan in place, and you're reprogramming your mind and your thoughts to not go to those places of panic. But like, no, I have skill. I know I can do this. I know I can get results. I know I have opportunity, and I'm going to take advantage of them. And it is reprogramming every single day for 52 weeks of the year. 52 weeks. Every day for a whole year. And you can get a subscription to do that. And the link is below so that you can every day reprogram so that you're not reacting to the emergency, but you are prepared to stand and know what you're doing is going to get you results. That is called Life Map to Success. It's even in the name. It gives you a life map of what you need to do to not react to emergency, but to respond with action. Every single day. So no matter what is going on in the economy, you can know that you have the opportunity to actually thrive and have more success, not less. But it takes continual, putting the right things into your mind. And I would love to invite you. This is how I've done it. This is how our clients who were thriving during COVID, that's how they've done it. It's continually putting the right things into their mind daily. And this is small little bite size every single day that you can listen to on your way to work and while you're getting dressed in the morning, putting on your makeup. You can listen to this and continually learn a strategy, whatever it is that you want to work on. Do you want to learn to pay off debt? Because that's also, you know how you panic during those times is because you have debt, that you have to make a certain amount of money with your one job income. That if that falls through, you have no other resource. You have no other source of income. How do you do that? How do you figure that out? Through putting in the right understanding of getting out of debt. so that you're not enslaved to your debt and making decisions based off your debt. But you can have strategies to put into place where you have complete financial freedom, as well as increasing your income, as well as getting multiple streams of revenue. So those are the strategies that you can use. And so I invite you, click on the link below, get your subscription to LifeMap if you want to have peace. If you want to know how to have peace during an emergency and to apply these 3 secrets and unlock them, unlock right now your subscription to LifeMap. And thank you for joining us for this episode this week for Success Tips. And I can't wait to see you on the other side of having peace during times of uncertainty. Have a great week. See you next time on Success Tips.